Welcome to the Logistics Point interviews. I'm joined by Luke Tuttle, who is from Modifi, and we're going to talk about the capacity for transformation in the supply chain. Luke, thank you very much for joining me. Do you think that, in a way, the supply chain is on its knees now, and can we even recover? Have we recovered from COVID?
There is recovery in some areas, but we also see areas where component shortages are impacting manufacturers. So just this last week, I was talking to a customer and they said they're still waiting to get a necessary component, and that's impacting their business. So,
is this where we will be starting in 2023 on a sort of an uneven level?
Many people are definitely feeling that there's going to be a recession, at least a small one, going to 2023. Extreme amount of uncertainty in interest rates. So I think that's an area very difficult to predict. There's already been a softening demand in Q4. So I think part of the open question is, how does the holiday season look? Does consumer demand pick back up? And then inflation as well on top of that. Do we see some softening of that?
Is there a way for us to prepare for all of this?
In these periods where there's either an extreme rise in price or delays in shipments, is where a exporter manufacturer runs into that working capital crunch. And for them to keep operating, they need to find ways to fund their business. So I think through tools, finance tools like ours, but then also through technology, so greater visibility into the supply chain, understanding where there might be delays, better predictions about when shipments might arrive, further transparency on who the supplier of your suppliers are ways for companies to better adapt and to be proactive.
I think that the industry is performing well when it comes to the transformation, the changes that need to be implemented.
There's a lot of market inefficiencies. It means that there are generally higher prices, or there's an inability for many people to access what they need to. And that's also one of the things at Modifi that we're trying to address, is this large gap that exists, particularly in the SMB space, for trade finance. So there's well over $1 trillion of unmet needs in financing. The ultimate impact to countries and to individual companies is a lack of growth, because without having that financing, they're not able to open up new markets, sell more. That lack of inclusivity is because of things like lack of digitization, the inability to share financial information easily, the lack of technology and automation to do underwriting. So the combination of those things on the finance side are very problematic, but I see it in other areas as well.
How can we fix something like this?
It's partly reflected in the amount of investment that's going into the supply chain right now. So that has grown year on year. There's tremendous interest in investment in the space, and I think this has happened over and over in many spaces where that opportunity is seen, you start to get investment in it, and then investment leads to more investment. So I think it's a matter of the continued application of technology. Many small incremental advancements in many different areas, I think, eventually allow us to see the same advancements in supply chain and in trade in general as we've seen in other areas of the market.
Do you think that the industry has the capacity to do it?
This is why so much investment is needed, and that for large legacy businesses to change is hard, right? Particularly the amount of capital investment that exists. This is a capital heavy industry in many cases. It's much more difficult to innovate in shipping, where you have very large, very long-term investments in ships. And we do see our partner, Maersk, who's making a tremendous amount of investments in sustainable fuels. But those are, tens of years, decade-long type of thinking and investments, right? It takes time for all the existing investments to age out. So that will drive part of the innovation, as there are assets in play that still are providing value. But we also want to make rapid change, whether it's in something like biofuels when it comes to shipping. It's also IT systems. And these are very large deeply interconnected system. This is where I think that startups have the advantage in that they may not have the capital investments, the legacy code, but then hopefully that can help the incumbents then themselves innovate and move quicker by leveraging some of the services coming out of these startups.
Well, Luke, thank you very much for your time. And for everyone watching, you can learn a bit more in the description below. Thank you.